Hey guys, welcome to our jungle garden on Salt Spring Island. Last night we just had one of the coolest guests stay at our accommodation here. She's a horticulturist, and she was over here working pruning the olive trees at the olive farm on the south end of Salt Spring Island. And we drove past the olive farm the other day, and somebody was asking me in a comment on one of my videos, how are the olive trees doing after the winter? And she says they're absolutely beautiful. And when we drove past, they looked fine. So the answer to your question, whoever asked that out there in YouTube land, the olive trees are fine. So she's here for 2 days pruning olive trees at the olive farm on the south end. But what she wanted to see too is our garden. So I gave her a garden tour, and she was absolutely boggled. So she lives southeast of Vancouver by about 25 miles or so in a town called Cloverdale. And she said the death and destruction there from the freeze in December is astronomical. So plants that we have here that are flawless are fried or dead there. So, you know, I was asking her about different plants. She says all the fatsias there are totally fried. This is a fatsia I'm standing by, and they're absolutely massive here. We have fatsias everywhere. These are evergreen Japanese Aurelia, and this is just one of many. I mean, our biggest ones are 15 feet tall. I look out the second story window at fatsia trees. Another one, for instance, is Clematis armandi, broadleaf evergreen, totally fried over there. She says killed to the ground. Nandinas were fried over there, which is heavenly bamboo. They're flawless here. The palm trees over there, she says, look really beat up or killed. Trachycarpus fortunei are flawless here. Butylon, I guess she couldn't believe the size of our 15-foot Butylon vidifolium tree, which is in bloom here. It is evergreen and it's never lost a leaf. And then I showed her our Schefflera taiwaniana and everything else. Then I took her down to show her the Swampsonii. So she just was blown away at the difference between here, the islands, the flora, and over there, southeast of Vancouver, which is inland from the ocean. The difference in temperature, she had, I think, just below minus 14 degrees Celsius. But with that minus 14 degrees Celsius, they had brutal east outflow winds, and that just kind of freeze dries everything. BLEs absolutely hate it. She was blown away at our bay trees because they self-seed here like weeds, and they're absolutely flawless. We have them everywhere. And then I took her down into the ravine and I showed her the Swampsonii. So, you know, I never take this place for granted. Even though, you know, we're this far north and everything, we're 48 degrees north latitude, but I used to live in a colder growing zone on the mainland near where she used to live. And that's the reason I moved here to the Southern Gulf Islands, is so I could grow a better exotic garden. And when they're getting blown away at minus 10 over there with easterly outflow winds, it will be dead calm here, and, you know, it can be around minus 2 degrees Celsius. So there's a big difference between there and here. And, you know, somebody asked me, well, what makes it so special there is the Pacific Ocean. We thank the Pacific Ocean. We got the offshore Japan current. Of course, we got the North Pacific current. But the Pacific Ocean regulates the air temperatures year-round. So there's no real extremes. You know, once every so often, once every 10, 15 years, we can get a real good cold blast. Late December 2021, we had a real good cold blast. We had 1 week of cold temperatures. And the coldest temperature I recorded on this property was minus 8 degrees Celsius, so 17.5 degrees Fahrenheit, but without the wind. And wind is a killer. So you can walk through our garden and you'll not see any remnants of what Old Man Winter had left behind in destruction, because there was a few cordyline that weeded out, smaller ones, and a few other marginal palms, but everything else looks perfectly fine. We have so many plants in here you wouldn't even notice what was missing from a bad winter. All right? Anyway, I just thought I'd pass that note along to you. And if you're watching this, thanks for staying at our accommodation, and I hope you come again. And she told me something very interesting about olive trees. She says she makes tea out of the leaves. You can make tea out of the olive leaves. We have a lot of olive trees in our garden too, and that's a thought. I'm drinking stinging nettle tea right now, which is really good, but I would like to try some olive leaf tea. So we have a commercial olive farm on Salt Spring Island. There are, you know, a few thousand olive trees there, and like I say, when I drove by last week, they looked very, very nice, and she told me they look great. She's in there working, pruning for a couple of days, and they're flawless. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos here on this channel. there's the abutilon tree there, which is, if you've seen in my videos. And of course, yes, Fatsia's fine. All the camellias, they took a hit over there too. And Cloverdale's probably, I guess, probably 5 miles, 6 miles in from the ocean, something like that. Kind of like where I used to live. About that same distance. I was about 6 miles in from the ocean. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more videos here. Cheers.